You? Is anybody?
There's Molly, folks. That means your friends, the Goldbergs, are here. Yes, it's the Does program. Does, you know, is the new kind of soap for everything in your wash. Now, what's doing at the Does'em house? Well, there's Daisy Does'em, home from her first high school class in dramatics. She's telling Ma.
I've decided, Ma. I'll be the world's greatest living actress.
That's real nice, Daisy.
I'll devote my life to my art.
Well, could you spare a minute to take this Does over to the Palmers? She's never tried Does.
Okay, Ma. I go on wings of lightning.
Don't run your legs off, Daisy. Just tell her it's that new kind of soap for everything in the wash.
I shall say, here in yon red box is Does, one soap for all your washing. Rag rugs, towels, rayon undies, overalls, everything.
Gracious, all you have to say is Does everything. Why, it's just wonderful, even for Pa's dirtiest work shirts.
Oh, work shirts, wherefore art thou work shirts?
Well, wherever they are, dear, Does'll clean 'em easy, without a bit of hard scrubbing. I never fuss with a bar soap anymore now. Does the job all by itself.
All this and more Does.
Right. Tell Mrs. Palmer Does gets the grimiest towels, white can be. Honestly, she won't see a whiter wash. And don't forget to tell her this same Does is safer for the pretty colors she washes.
Fear not, Mother dear. I'll tell her she can wash the rainbow in Does.
Nonsense, Daisy. Just say colors stay bright longer with Does. Yet it can't be beat for getting towels really white.
Ah, Does, telling of thy wonders shall be the start of my career.
Land sakes, Does sure does everything.
Well, just about everything. In fact, Does is the only leading wash day soap that combines so much safety for colors along with so much cleaning power for the tough dirt and unsurpassed whiteness for your towels and linens. Try Does, D-U-Z. It does everything in the wash. And now the Goldbergs. While the Goldbergs waited at the station, we were given a glimpse of the inside of the train they were waiting for. On the train is Molly's new daughter-in-law, Grace, the girl the Goldbergs have never seen. The girl Sammy married just before he left for parts unknown along with the other boys in his contingent. Molly first heard of this whole affair from a letter Grace wrote. And it was this letter that opened a back trail of suspicion in Rosie's mind, because it arrived on the same day that a Goldberg neighbor got a letter, too. And both letters came from the same town, had the same postmark, were mailed on the same day. Only one was from George, who was now a farmhand on the nearby farm. Well, George explained he didn't know Grace, never heard of her. But we saw that he does. He knows her very well. In fact, he boarded the train before it reached Lastenbury and warned Grace to be careful because the Goldbergs were suspicious. Well, Grace has just arrived in Lastenbury.
Molly, well, Grace is sitting in the car. How long are you going to be?
I wouldn't be long, darling. I have to tend to her baggage, darling. Let her sit in the car and let her be comfortable, darling.
Let Rosalie attend to it.
She'll tend to it. See that Grace is comfortable. I'll be there in a minute. I have to see she should get her trunk teller, darling. Please, Rosalie, dear, take Grace's trunk check and give it to the baggage man. Yes, darling? We'll be in the car waiting for you.
She's beautiful, Ma.
Oh, she's beautiful. She's magnificent. Oh, Rosalie, darling, she's beautiful. She's beautiful.
Molly, dear, well?
Oh, 1 minute, darling. Didn't I told you my Hamlet's wife would be beautiful? Oh,
She kissed me, Ma.
oh, I know, darling, I know. Didn't I see? Oh, she kissed me too, darling. Did you saw she kissed me too? And when she came off the train, I was standing like that, and I'm looking, and I didn't saw her. And she ran over. Did you hear that? She said, Mother. Did you saw how she said, Daddy? Oh, and then she kissed me. Hello, Jenny. Hello, dear. How are you, sweetheart?
Fine, thank you.
Was you also on the train?
Yes, I was.
I'm coming. Jenny, dear, how are you feeling?
I feel fine, thank you.
You're going to come over to see my new daughter?
Oh, I'd love to. I would,
Come
really.
to see. I found the whole village to see my
Thank you. I'm sure everything I have in this bag must be broken to bits.
Well, what'd you do, Jenny? Drop it?
No, somebody on the train tripped over it.
Well, what have you got in the bag?
Jelly preserves and honey.
Excuse me, Jenny.
Take your dog with you.
Woody, come on. Hey, you want to lift, Jenny?
No, you have a car full.
All right, Ma.
Your mother's calling you,
Yes,
Rosie.
I'm coming, Ma.
I don't see Mr. Jenkins around. Jenny, would you give this baggage check to Mr. Jenkins and tell him to deliver the trunk right away?
Yes, I'll be glad to.
Thanks, Jenny.
I'm coming, Ma. I'll be right there.
No, I'll just take my bag into the waiting room and open it and see what damage he did to it, the clumsy thing.
I'd make him pay for the damage, Jenny.
Maybe I will.
Who was it?
I'm coming, Ma.
If you knew who it was, Jenny, I'd make him pay for it.
It was that new farmhand that works for Marcia Mashunkuk. He rushed into the train, pushed every phone aside at the station, and then got off at the next. I guess he likes train rides.
Are you sure it was George?
Oh, I don't know his name.
Well, how do you know he works for Masha?
Excuse me, Rosie.
But Jenny! Jenny, how do you know he works?
And once again, the coincidence between Grace and George is flung into Rosie's mind, and this time more suspiciously than ever. As Jake drives his new daughter-in-law home, Rosie studies the girl's face and wondering what can possibly be the relation between Grace and George.
You're comfortable, Grace?
Oh, very comfortable, thank you.
I'm glad. Be comfortable, dear.
Thank
Be
you.
comfortable. It's the change of the climate and the weather, so button your neck, darling. Button your neck. We'll be home in a short spell, Grace. We just go down the road, and then through the main street in Upper Ways, and then down again, and to the right once, and the left twice. And then that's our house will be visible. First comes Masha's farm, and then ours.
It's no mansion and it's no castle.
Oh, yes, it is if it's a home.
That's right, Grace, dear.
It's the one thing I want. It's the one thing you have to have, a home that's all yours. Yours for you and the one you love.
That's right, Grace. And Sammy was well,
Very well.
and he was well, huh?
Yes.
Why so quiet, Rosalie?
Rosalie's always quiet. Look, Grace, dear, look, I want you to look around careful and nicely. This is our town, darling. Here, over here, not that way, this way, turn your head this way, see? That's the library. That's the library, the public
yes,
library.
yes.
I never take the books from the public library. Rosalie has to go and she has to remember the dates because if I don't remember the dates, so the days go and the days go and the days go. Do you like to read, Grace?
Not too much. I'm not a bookworm.
Just like me.
I'm interested in the news right now.
Precisely. Who can be interested in fiction in times like this?
Rosalie, don't you feel well?
Of course I'm well.
I guess I keep reminding you of Sammy.
When were you married?
Just 4 weeks ago.
Look out, Jake, darling. Look out, dear, a car. Look out, dear. Hello? He didn't see me. That was Mr. Hopkins, Grace. You'll meet him, a very nice man. He has the eyeglass store and the jewelry and the knickknacks. Let me see your ring, Grace.
Oh, it's just a wedding band.
Oh, I want you to have more than a wedding band. Jake, darling, you remember my little dinner ring? It's too small for my middle finger.
If it fits Grace, it's hers.
Oh, please, I wouldn't think of taking
Yes, you will.
Indeed you will.
Oh.
Not so fast, Jake, darling, please. Grace, darling, over here on that side,
Yes?
before it passes. That's the schoolhouse,
Oh,
darling.
did Sammy go to that school?
To the high school part.
Are you still in high school, Rosie?
Grace asked you a question, Rosalie.
Oh, I'm sorry.
Grace asked you if you go to this school.
Yes, I do.
This over here is my grocery store,
Mhm.
and that over there is my butcher. He's
Oh.
standing out by the door. That's the butcher.
Oh, yes.
It's not so busy these days because it's got to count points. And here, darling, this is the post office.
Oh.
That's the busiest place. Now, the most important place is the post office. Everybody runs for letters. Not so fast, Jake, darling.
Grace will have plenty of time to get acquainted with the village.
That's the hardware store over there. And over on that side, darling, that is the church here below. We got two churches. I don't know the names of the two churches. And then the cemetery.
Oh.
We'll pass it. Do you like cemeteries, Grace?
Well,
I love them.
You have a mother-in-law with peculiar taste, Grace.
I know all about my mother-in-law and her tastes and her big heart and her kindness.
And What do you know about your father-in-law?
Well, I wouldn't be here if all the things I knew weren't the best.
My son is slightly prejudiced.
I'll soon find out.
Turn, Jake, darling, turn.
Molly, please, who is driving?
We'll soon be home, Grace, darling. This way and then that way. This fence begins Marsh's farm. Somebody's plowing on the field now.
That's George plowing.
Why don't we stop and call George?
Oh, let's not stop. I'll have plenty of time to meet everybody.
He lived in the same town that you lived in, Grace.
Who?
George,
Who's George?
that man plowing over there.
Oh, really? What do you know?
Are we stopping or are we not?
Oh, let's not now.
Do you think you know him?
Well, I might if he comes from the same town.
Are we stopping?
Let's not. If I know him, I'll have to talk, and if I don't, we'll just be wasting time.
But if you do
I
know...
want to see your home.
Sammy spoke of home, Grace.
Oh, always. And he always said, well, you see my house and my family, and you'll know what the whole war is for.
But Grace does know George, and more than slightly. And Rosie is watching, wondering, determined to find out who Grace really is, who George is, and what they have in common. Look, friends, when your government asks you to turn in waste fat to make glycerin for explosives, do you say,
Oh, that's just too much trouble.
too much trouble to sell something you've been throwing away when, you know, somewhere thousands of miles away, a young soldier may be facing an onrushing enemy? Yes, he's got a machine gun in his hands, but he's saying to himself,
Well, I guess this is it. I hope my ammunition holds out.
what's too much trouble? How about it? Won't you get that ammunition to him? Listen, if you save just 1 tablespoon of waste fat every day, in a month you'll have enough to produce 150 bullets for that soldier's machine gun. Think of that. And the government just wants your waste fat, only what you'd ordinarily throw out. Pour this waste fat into any clean can. Get it to your butcher, quick. He'll buy every pound. Now, is that too much trouble? Of course not. Get your fat into the fight. Help keep our guns firing. Be sure to listen to the next episode of the Goldbergs. Rosie looks for an ally in her search to find out Gracie's secret. This is Clayton Collier speaking for Procter & Gamble and saying, do as the Dozums do. Let Doz, the new kind of soap, do everything in your wash.